Welcome to GausRoth Tutorials. I'm GausRoth, and today we're going to create a scavenger hunt mini game mechanic. And in front of me I have 6 objects. These are going to be the objects that the player would go out and search for, and they're all grabbable, so when you grab them it will set a PPV and complete an achievement. And here's our achievement board. We have found them all, and we have a overall achievement to collect all collectibles. So when one is collected, it updates, and then once they're all collected, this one pops as well. First thing we need is some objects to collect, so we're going to go into our assets here. We can grab a couple objects here. Let's grab a cube, grab a sphere. What else can we use? Grab a pyramid. Go into the mesh asset library, look at their shapes. They got some nice shapes in here. We can grab a wedge. Conical 1. That's 5. Let's grab one more, and we can grab a star. Some of these, the bounding boxes don't line up very well. I think we got enough shapes, so the idea is that when you pick one up, it will let the system know that you've picked this one up, and once you pick up all of them, something will happen. So this is going to be the objects for our scavenger hunt, so we can just paint them different colors quick. So we'll just quickly paint these different colors. We can grab an orange, green. So we're going to make the star yellow because it's a star. We can grab a black one. Let's go with gray, and then let's grab a blue. So we're going to create a script that when the object is picked up by the player, we're going to set a PPV. So we're going to need a script and some PPVs. So let's go to Systems, Player Variables, and I still have one in here from my last video, so we're going to delete that. And now we need to create one for each object. Now that we have all of our PPVs, we need to bring out a script. Go to our gizmos, grab a script, and this one is actually going to reside on all of the objects. So we're just going to have to call this something like collectible or scavenger hunt. So there's a couple different ways we could do the variable. We can create a list of objects. We could use numbers, strings, booleans. I'm going to use a number. I'm just going to call this index. And then we would number each individual one 0 through 5, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to need its starting position and its starting rotation. So we'll create a new variable. This one will be of type vector, and we'll call this one start position, or POS for short. We'll create another variable of type rotation, and we will call it start rot. For rotation. Then when world is started, we will set these variables. So we need to go to values, set to, bring that in there. Now it says set variable to value, and the variable we are going to set is our position. So we'll grab start position, drop that in variable, and then we're going to go to operators. We're going to scroll down to object transform and get position of object, and we'll drop that in value. Now it's asking for an object, and since this script will reside on the object, we're going to go to values, scroll down to value input, and grab self. So now we're going to set start position to the position of the object this script is attached to when the world is started. Now we're just going to duplicate this, so I'm going to select it and then my right joystick over to the right, and we're going to change it from start position to start rotation. So we're going to grab our start rot, drop it in there, and then we're going to go back to operators, grab our rotation of object, and drop it in here, and then bring down self. So now when the world is started, our start position and our start rotation is being set, so we can use those vectors and rotations later on when we release the object. All right, so now what we need to do is do something when the object is grabbed. So we're going to scroll down under events to our grab events. And then when object is grabbed by player, we're going to do something. However, we also need to do something when the object is released by the player. So what do we need to do when the object is grabbed? Well, we created all these PPVs, so we need to set one based off the index variable that we're going to set. We're going to use if to start. So when object is grabbed by player, if, we need an equal sign, a double equal, so this one makes sure two values are equal. So if A equals B, A being our index, equals a value, a number value. So we need to go to values, grab a number input under value input, and drop it in there. So if index equals 0, which will be this one. So we're going to set this one to 0, this one to 1, so on and so forth. So if index equals 0, we're going to go under values, and we're going to set a player persistent variable circle to 1. All PPVs start off at 0. So if you look at a Boolean, it's on or off, 0 or 1. We're going to use the PPV as a Boolean. So if it's 0, we can then set it to 1. So what we can do is we can then check if this PPV is already 1. And if it is, don't do anything. So we'll grab another if. We're going to drop it in here. So we're going to check if circle equals 0. So we can grab our index equals 0 here, drop it in there, and we're going to replace index. Go to values. We're going to replace index with the get player persistent variable. We're going to drop that in there. This returns a number. We're going to drop our player in there, and we're going to change me to circle. So now this will return true if circle is 0. And then if it is 0, we will set circle to 1. However, there is a shorter way of doing this. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab another if. We're going to drop it up here, and we're going to grab an AND operator. That's all the way at the top, and we're going to drop it in our condition, and we're going to take our index equals 0, and we're going to take our circle for player equals 0. And then we'll set here. So what this is doing, it's making sure that index equals 0 and circle equals 0. So if index equals 1, this won't fire. If circle equals 1, this won't fire. They both have to return true. Since this script is going to reside on all of them, now we have to do this same thing for all of the different collectibles. So in order to do that, we need to go to events and grab an else if. We're going to drop our else if right underneath if, so it's connected. And all we have to do is grab our and then paste it in there. But instead of index equaling 0, we're going to change that to 1. And then we'll change our circle to our cube. And then we'll drag our set down, change circle to cube. And now, since we have an else if already, we can just grab it, paste it, and update our variables. So now 1 becomes 2, cube becomes pyramid, cube becomes pyramid, and we're going to do that for all of them. So now we have our conditionals to check and then set our PPVs. However, nothing else is happening, just some back-end stuff that the player knows nothing about. They pick it up, great, it's a ball, it's a cube, it's whatever. They don't get any feedback. So what we can do is we can add a sound effect. We can add a visual effect. We can add achievements to this, and that's what we're going to do. So in order to do that, we are going to go into our build menu, go to systems, create, and we're going to create an achievement for each one. So this is going to take some time, so I'm going to do one, show you guys how I'm doing it, and then I'm just going to skip through the rest. So we want to give it an ID. This is going to be what shows up in the script when we check. So I have called it collectible 001. Now we have to give it a name, and we can call it collect circle. Give it a description, and the description will be find and grab circle. We can give it an image. So in order to give it an image, I'm just going to hit save quick. I'm going to go in. I'm going to grab my camera. I'm going to spin this guy around quick. And we're just going to take a picture of our circle. And then I can take a picture of our cube, our pyramid, our wedge, our four-sided die, and then our star. So now we're going to go back into collect circle, and we're going to select an image, and we're going to grab our circle. And then instead of doing achievement type simple, so simple is you would have to set it manually in the code. However, we can do tracked. Set our variable to a PPV. This is for the circle, so I can select circle, and then set the completion threshold to 1. So the moment I pick that up, it's going to pop the achievement for me. I don't have to do any code for it. It's just going to do it automatically. And we're going to do this for every single one. Now that we have all of our achievements added to our systems, we can now create an achievement board. So we're going to go to Gizmos and grab an achievement board, which is this one right here. And we got to scale it up a little bit because it's really tiny. There we go. And we can do some changes to the board here. We can set the title. Achievements is fine. We can set how many entries per page. You can have just 1. You can have 5. And some people, not everybody has this yet, it's on a slow rollout I think, you can change the panel UI mode from light mode to dark mode, and it's so much easier on the eyes. So now if we look at our achievements board, we see our panel. We have achievements. It tells us how many we have completed, 0.6, and percentage. You can do change in progress and completed, or all of them. So now we have collect four-sided die. It says find and grab the four-sided die. And it looks like it's actually smushing the images, which I think might be a bug because that is not what the images look like. So that is something you might have to be mindful of. But we have our name, we have our description, we have if it's completed or not, and we have our image. And then we have all of our achievements. However, we still need to attach our script to it. So we're going to open up we're just going to select all of these quick. Deselect our achievement. Open up our panel, and we're just going to add collectible to them. We can't adjust the index on them yet because we can only do that if you select them individually. However, there's some other things that we need to do. We need them to be interactive, grabbable, and we don't need to hand grab. And now we have to go in to every single one and update the index. The circle is already at 0, so that's fine, but our cube needs to be a 1. Oh, not that. So now, if I were to go in the script, we're going to clear all that out, we're going to stop it, start it, and if I pick up the circle, normally you get a pop-up saying, hey, you've completed this achievement, and it did actually, in fact, complete it. So it says collect circle, find and grab the circle, and it says completed on the date it was completed. So that is working. I'm going to hope that that's just an edit mode bug. Okay. So there is another thing I want to do, and that is like an overall achievement for collecting all of them. So we're going to open up our build menu, go to system, we need another PPV, and we're going to create one, and we're just going to call this one collectibles. And then we need to go back to achievements, create a new achievement, and this one will be collectibles 7. Name will be collect all collectibles. Our description would be find and grab all collectibles. We don't need an image for this one. It will be tracked, and we will track our collectibles PPV, and then we'll set it to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you'll set this to how many collectibles that you have. And since we already collected the circle, we have to reset it. Now there's only one way to reset achievements, and only you can reset your achievements. And that is debug my achievements, and you can see these are the achievements that are incomplete for me, and then there's this one. I can just toggle it off, I can toggle them on if I wanted to, or I can reset all. Now reset all only does mine, then hit save. So now we have our overall achievement, and our circle has been reset. When an achievement is completed, we're going to drop that in here, and it's going to give us the achievement ID. The achievement ID is that collectible 001, 002. So when achievement completes for player, it's going to give us the player. It's going to give us the achievement ID. So when achievement completes for player, I am going to set player persistent variable. We're going to set our collectibles for the player to collectibles +1. So we're going to grab a plus sign under operators, scroll all the way up to the top, grab our plus out of basic operations, drop it in our number variable, and we're just going to borrow this code block, change it to collectibles, and then we're going to add 1. So when the achievement completes, we're going to set collectibles to collectibles +1 for that player. We do need to make sure we're passing the proper player variable. And then one thing I would like to do when the object is grabbed, I want to force release it so that they can't just walk around with it. So we're going to go to actions, we're going to scroll up to object, and then grab force release. So they're going to pick it up, they're going to get credit for it, and then it's going to force release. So under instant motion, under instant motion, we're going to grab move to and rotate to. And we're going to move and rotate the object the script is attached to, and we're going to move it to the start position and start rotation that we set on world start. So we just grab those and drop them in there. So we ran into a little bug. So when achievement completes for player, and achievement ID, this is running anytime the achievement pops. And since it's on 6 different objects, it doesn't matter if we check achievement ID or not. It's going to run 6 times because the script is on there 6 times. So we have to use another script. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this script quick. We need to remove that from the script. And we're just going to remove all of this stuff. We can remove all of these variables. And so now this will only run the one time, and we can call this something like achievement completed. This way we know it's only going to run the one time. and we need to attach this to an object. So I'm just going to grab another one of these, since these are the cheapest object, these four-sided die. And we're going to swap to achievement completed, and we can make it not visible, not collidable. It does not have to be animated. Turn the light and shadow off. So now, again, no achievements. Now it works. Alright, so I don't know, there was something iffy with that particular achievement. Now it's working. We have our 1 of 6, and circles completed. Grab that one, pops, that, grab that one pops, grab that one, and so now all of them except for the star, so that's the wedge, and wait for that to go away. Four-sided die. We're going to grab a star. And now our collect all collectibles achievement. So we get our collected star, find and grab the star. And then once this is done being popped, collect all collectibles. So that is all I have for the scavenger hunt game mechanic. They don't have to be these objects. They can be anything you want. If it's more than one object, you'll have to group them and then put the script on the group. Just make sure they're grabbable. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about this video, or have any suggestions for a future video, please let me know in the comment section below. If you liked the video, if you learned something, like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're notified of all my future videos. But yeah, thanks for watching, and have a good one.